Welcome back to another episode. It is me, Chrissy G. We are definitely doing Adventures of Self. We're always going to bring it back to who we are. I think as individuals, we don't take enough time to just reflect on our own, things that we have going. Like we're automatically trying to either work with the next person, help somebody. Sometimes it's just in you. So today we are going to talk about I'm tired of healing. Let's be real. Healing is exhausting. Um that in itself can be just so many different things because some people take a complete step out of life to heal. Like they're like, "Oh no, I can't talk to anyone. I'm healing and processing." And I mean, that does work for people, though. I can't speak down on those people because it does work for them. But come on, like a lot of us, we still have to do our everyday back and forth, back and forth. So we can't step away from everything. Some of you are parents and you definitely can't step away from them kids, even though I know y'all want to. It's okay. I'm not judging y'all. I am not judging y'all. This is a non-judgy space. So, mommy, daddy, if you just want to say, sometimes I need to just step away from them kids, you got it. This is a place to do it. Um, Healing definitely, I feel like, has different phases. You go through the woe me where when you're first trying to kind of debuncle a situation in your mind or in your life, you feel like, whoa, me, why did this happen to me? And, it is some of those moments where we look back and we say, well, it could have been worse. That's always my thing. It could have been worse. I could have not gotten out of the situation. I could be still stuck in the same place I was stuck in a year ago. And you just have to lean on what is your gut feeling? What is your intuition telling you? And sometimes I think we take different actions and we try to cover up things that we don't want to be seen. Let me say that again because I know somebody in the back just covered their ears. But sometimes we cover up things we don't want to be seen. I think sometimes you have to let yourself be vulnerable. And letting yourself be vulnerable does not mean letting everybody know your business. Everybody doesn't need to know your business, especially when you're on a healing journey, because things that you're going through and things that you're tackling, not everybody is going to understand. And it's okay. We're all different. It's okay for them not to understand. But that's also why everybody don't need to know your business. Okay? So after you get out of the woe me phase though, it is time to kind of step it up. And I think one phase that I'm going to touch on in a minute that we skip over is that stepping up phase. When you're stepping up, it does not mean you have to step over every and anything that was a part of your past. It does not always mean that. It means that you need to learn to differentiate between what should have just been a moment and what should have been a lifetime. It's okay that you outgrow people. It's okay that you outgrow relationships. It's okay that you outgrow jobs because as a person, you are going to evolve and that's going to happen. And as you're healing, sometimes you got to let yourself outgrow stuff, even if it takes you being uncomfortable. I woke up one day and when I decided to start the whole healing process, I was like, I'm moving. I'm leaving. Not like I'm moving to another apartment or I'm just going to go to another city. Like, no, I'm getting up and I'm going to another state. And it had already been something that had been on my mind, but I had never let myself just do it. So I just took out all the blockades that were not going to help me get to that point. And it's crazy because to know me is that my mother is my best friend. I tell my mother everything. This was something that I did not tell my mother. Like, I did not. When I finally told her, I was like, I am moving in 2 weeks. I got a job. Don't worry about it. I know where I'm going. This is how the plan's going. And I did it. because I know that even though she loves me with all of her heart, she would be the one reason I wouldn't have made that change. But it was such a big part of my healing process to close one door so I could open up another. And it wasn't something that I could do in small increments. In certain parts of your healing process, you can do that in small increments. Blocking numbers. Let me say that again. Block that number. Delete them old texts. You know what I mean? You can do that stuff in small increments. You don't have to just jump up into the next phase. Do what works for you. I think sometimes we're trying to take the ready to go made plan by X, Y, and Z. You're not X, Y, and Z, and that's why it's not working for you, baby. That's why. It's not the plan. Sometimes it's not the plan, but that's not the plan for you. You know, you got to sit down and calm down and figure out what is best for me. So mine was, my best leap was to move to another state. I am somebody who is not good with change, which was definitely a part of the healing process, because that was one of my phases. Is you have to work through the change. You have to put your best foot forward and be okay with not knowing anything. Oh, okay. And I just smiled and I worked my way through it. Maybe that's not for you. But if it is, girl, do it. Because those bills that you have, yes, you're going to keep paying them. Make sure you got a job. Like, let's be realistic in this change, though. Let's be realistic in this healing phase. Do what's in your means. And when I say that, I do say that, yes, the bills you pay where you are right now, you're going to pay wherever you go. So prepare yourself where it's like, okay, I'm not going to miss a pay period. I got a new job and this is how it's going to work. And I'm going to put my 2 weeks notice in and then I'm going to start. Like, your job is not to, oh, I'm just going to move to another place with no means. No, like I told you, we keeping this real. I'm not finna give you no little, oh yes, let me put the jam in the jelly. No, you about to get this county bread hard $1.99. That's probably $1.19 now. Okay, we doing it rough. If you need to plan this out, this ain't a just jump and go. Now, some people, they can. But if you living in a realistic world like me, no. So I had it planned out. Here go my 2 weeks notice. I moved in a weekend. That Monday I started at my new job. Right at the beginning of their pay period. So I never had a hiccup. Like, be prepared. So, and it's okay through that process and through those phases, because now you're at the, yeah, I'm picking myself up phase. It's okay through those phases to have small moments where you still feel hurt about what you're healing from. You know, one thing about healing is it is definitely going to unveil what the core reason was. And even if it's a person, even if it's an event, even if it's, you know, something you felt like was due to you and it didn't happen, understand that you have to feel that pain one more time to allow yourself to get over it. Allow yourself. You do not have to forgive, forget, and all. You don't have to do that, but you need to forgive yourself that it's okay that you went through that. You were not at fault for going through that. It's okay. It's life. Things happen. Things happen and they make us better. That is a part of your healing phase, is facing head on. What are you trying to heal from? Because Band-Aids are only going to last so long. You know what I'm saying? Especially like if you're thinking about this on a relationship level, hurrying up and jumping into another situation is only going to last so long. So if it keeps failing, it's because you did not take a minute and pause to go through your healing phase. Yes, it's exhausting. I said that at the beginning. It's never going to be easy. And if you're looking for easy, you're not ready to heal yet. Well, hold on. Let me say it one more time, because I know you covered your ears. But if you're looking for easy, you're not ready to heal yet. You're okay going through the same thing. You're okay with that job asking you to do more, but not paying you more. You're okay with that man not coming home at night, but in the morning he come home and give you an excuse why he had to be out and his phone had died. But you're okay, keep going through that. Like, you're okay that your kids be running you ragged because they don't have no structure and they feel like you the maid. Like, no, okay, you okay with that. But when you ready to heal, when you're ready to start going through your process, all that is going to change. All of that is going to change, and it's going to be very uncomfortable. It's never going to be a comfortable thing to go through your healing phase. It's not. And that's okay. I think sometimes people think that they got to go through something. They got to be hard, like especially men. And I'm going to talk to the men too. You got to be hard. You got to, I got to nut till I buck, or, yeah, I'm showing my age. It's okay. But you don't, like, it's okay. But don't trust everybody with what you're going through. Because some people are taking notes not to use them to help you get through this. They're taking notes so they can tell other people once they are not around you. Sometimes they're taking notes on how to come through when you're hitting your success and bring you back to where they feel like you should be. Don't entrust everybody with what you got going on in that head of yours, because everybody ain't here to help. And I know that might have touched some people, because some of y'all is holding on to friends and y'all like, I just don't understand why, when it's time to celebrate my birthday, she be busy. When it's time for me to graduate, she can't make it, but I make sure that I'll be there when she, yeah, I know you had to hear that out loud. It's okay. I know. It's okay. It's okay, girl. It's okay. It's all right. We gonna take that back. Okay? Why, when you do something at your job and you want to tell your homeboy, like, dang, bro, I've been putting in that work. They finally seen they done promoted your boy. And he like, that's cool. Okay. Bro, I hit the new level on the game. And yeah, oh, great, bro. He ain't giving you that same energy, and y'all not even hitting the same type of goals. But I will come back to that. I know some of y'all ain't ready for that yet. We gonna touch on that again. And you gotta go through all these stages in the healing process. Like, this is not just something where it's going to be cut and dry. And that's why I think when you go sometimes and you get these self-help books, or somebody is going to give you a 30-day plan on how to do this. Yes, they can give you tools, but they can't tell you how you need to process them. You have to take the tools that people give you, or the tools that you find, or, the tools that work best for you. You have to take those and then work them into your program. Don't work yourself into somebody else's program, because you're never going to be successful. Like, you're never going to be somebody who is hitting those goals and making those strides because you're using somebody else's program. I mean, it's cool to use their tools, but how does that work for you? Put it in a plan that works for you, that works for self. Because that is going to be the best way and the easiest way for you to get through this. Because going through all of this, like I said, is exhausting. It is exhausting when you start to heal from something and you are going through all this joy and all this excitement. And in that, you start to think about what hurt you. And it makes you think like, wow, I was really dumb. Like, how could I not have seen that wasn't right? That wasn't okay. I, lived through this, and I was making everybody else feel like it was better and it should be better and all this. And I kept trying to push, but the whole time there was better out there. How was I such the fool? You weren't the fool. You were learning a life lesson. Sometimes life lessons are taught longer with some people than they are with others. That's why you're looking for your own plan, not somebody else's. I know that, especially when I started to come into different things like moving into new jobs, because like I said, I moved to a whole nother state during my process. So I knew coming into other jobs, it was going to be different. It wasn't, I had been on the same job for 5 years. I was going to be uncomfortable. You know, there were things where even I learned sometimes the grass is not always greener on the other side. That's another thing that you have to go through with healing is you are sometimes going to see a difference. You are going to see where you should have, how do I say this? You should have enjoyed the joys of what you walked away from. And I know there's a better way to put that, but it's kind of like, okay, I do have to stumble and realize that sometimes on the process of going on my healing journey, things are not going to be great in every aspect. I'm going to miss certain things that I had to walk away from because maybe they were connected to something that I needed to get through to keep going through my healing phase. Once again, it gets exhausting. Just, I don't know. I was fortunate to be able to lean on a close group of people. And when I say close group, I mean the people in my inner circle I can probably count on one hand. The people who are on my inner circle, but maybe I don't talk to on an everyday basis, it don't go past two hands. It's still under two. Just because I don't let everybody in on what's going on with me. That was a part of my healing phase. A part of my healing phase was that everybody has an opinion, and sometimes it's not the opinion that's meant for me. That's okay. That's all right. You know, it doesn't mean that those friendships are not still there. It doesn't mean that you don't care as much. It just means I've got to go through a process that I don't think that I'm ready to show you yet. If your process is not ironclad, stop going out here telling people you can teach them how you did it. You can't teach them nothing, because if I come through and try to do your process, I could probably poke 18 holes in it because you didn't take the time to make sure it was ironclad. Everybody wants to do something real fast. It don't work like that. If I can come through and I can poke holes in what you've created and that foundation is not sturdy, then you're not ready to show anybody how you did it because you're not done yet. And sometimes it's not going to be like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to be completely healed. I'm ready for the world. No, you're not. And it sucks because sometimes those few people have to fall over and over and over again. And then finally one day they're going to snap. Everything's going to change. And then all of a sudden everybody's going to be like, dang, they're fake. Why are they so fake? Yeah, they don't talk about that part of the healing process either. They don't talk about the part where you start to change, like your inner change starts to show on the outside. Then all of a sudden, you're not who you used to be. It's okay to not be who you used to be. You don't want to be them. And it's okay to tell people that. It's okay to explain to them what you've been through. But like I said, don't let every hearing ear be somebody who hears your story or the steps you took to get there. Because they still are taking notes. Maybe just not the ones you think they are. So you have to let yourself go through the process. You have to be okay with being alone sometimes in your process. Even if that comes to journaling, if that comes to journaling what your goals were this week and then going back and being like, girl, I didn't hit none of these. Not near one. You know, that's okay. It's a part of your healing process. A healing process also could be you starting to make a actual plan for your week, a plan for your day, making sure you're taking care of yourself, not only in situations, but health wise, you know, mental health, everything, making sure everything is on T for you. You know, if you need self-care days, I love a good self-care day. And that means whatever self-care is to you. To me, I love being in the nail shop. That's my favorite place to be. I love getting my nails done. Everybody know that is my whoosah, is getting my nails done. So that's my place. So you got to take this and make sure that it is what you need. Understand that if you're unhappy, people feel that. And I want to say that again for parents. If you're unhappy, your kids feel that. You wonder why they act out. You wonder why sometimes they might trip out. It's because we feel that. And as children, and I mean, I've gotten this from small kids, and that's why I feel like I need to say this, is they say, I don't like when my mommy's unhappy. I'm like, how you this little? And you know, because kids watch and see everything. They want you to be happy. They want you to have time. They want you to be your best self so you can be your best self for them too. But that's going to be another whole topic. That goes pretty deep, and that's another part of sometimes kids and parents healing. But you know that's different. So I think in my journey where I'm at so far, do I feel like I'm done? No. Do I feel like I've made great strides? Absolutely. And I'm learning to pat myself on the back and be proud of myself. It doesn't make you self-centered if you are congratulating yourself on the hard work that you know you've done. Because every hard step you put into this, not everyone's going to see, and it's not for everyone to see. Sometimes that's the part that messes us up because we feel like we're not getting recognition from other people. You need to be able to give yourself recognition. You're the one who's putting in the work. You're the one who knows where the start line was and where you are right now. So pat yourself on the back. Thank you. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for making sure that I'm still pushing, that I'm making a difference. Give yourself small goals and then stomp on them, because you can do whatever you put your mind to. Like, make sure that it's something that you are doing, something you want. You know, your process is your own. Your process is definitely your own. So that's going to be this episode. I hope y'all come in for more. Comment topics if y'all have something specific you want me to touch on. I will do bonus clips. And bonus clips aren't necessarily going to be long episodes where I'm talking on a specific topic. It could be something that came in from the comments or something that came in on a different platform. You can stream me anywhere. I'm literally on every platform. Chrissy G 672. There will be snippets on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And it's only going to get better. It is only going to get better. So make sure you are here at the beginning. You could tell everybody, I was here when we was only on episode 2. I was here when she first started this, because you were. And I appreciate that. I love y'all. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this to all your friends. Make sure you tell them we drop new episodes every Friday. But I'll tidbit all week on little topics. If things come up and you like, ooh, girl, tell me what your opinion is. Y'all know I'm going to give it to you. So just make sure you let me know. All right. I love y'all. It's Chrissy G. Tune in next time. All right.